Good morning, everyone. Welcome to BYJU'S exam prep. My name is Alpa Sharma, and this is our daily editorial analysis. Am I clearly visible and audible to everybody? Good morning, Ragini Shivam. Can you hear and see me clearly on our app? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, clearly visible and audible. Purvi, I'm going to restart with the revision of the last 6-7 months in February. So make sure you don't miss out on those classes. In the app, if you could please confirm if I'm visible and audible. Guys, give me a second. In the app, yes, visible and audible as well. Okay, guys. So first of all, I'm sorry because I got a little late because there was some technical glitch. I could not go live, but then that's sorted now. Also, there's a little surprise for you that I have today. So you guys know that I take one article from the Hindu and the other from the Indian Express. But since you guys know, yesterday there were tons of political articles because the election is on its way, and there was nothing substantial from the perspective of English and reading comprehension and critical reasoning. I haven't taken any single article from the Hindu or the Indian Express today. So what am I going to do today with you? I have taken one article from the aeon.co. So if you guys know what aeon is, that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to narrate a little story to you about chocolate. Pretty interesting? Yes? Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So it's going to be from the aeon. We aren't going to take any article. Also, yes, something fresh. People, yes, it's going to be aeon. Yes, it's going to be aeon. It's been a while that we've taken an article from aeon, and it's going to be a breath of fresh air, something beyond the whole worldly matters and politics and environment degrading, and it's a breath of fresh air for sure. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. So, but before we start off with that, let's quickly go through the fact that though I am not going to take the Hindu articles today, Rabia ma'am is going to analyze the Hindu from the perspective of GK at 11 a.m. on our app. It's going to be a bilingual session. Make sure you don't miss out on this. She's going to explain everything from the perspective of GK from the Hindu. Apart from that, if you're targeting MSCTL, CLAT, BLAT, Jamia, these low entrance examinations, which are a little different from CLAT, then we've got a batch 2 that we've recently launched. You could start your classes as soon as possible because these examinations aren't pretty far. If you're targeting CLAT 22 specifically, we've got the first crash course that we've launched. So, बहुत सारे crash courses आएंगे, but late नहीं करना है क्योंकि जितना जल्दी start करोगे उतना ही अच्छा आपके लिए होगा. तो crash course जल्दी से enroll कर लो. Okay, what's wrong? Okay, yeah. Apart from that, if you don't wish to study everything, but not all subjects, but you wish to study only and only legal affairs and current events, our batch 2 for booster course on legal affairs and current events is right here, where Nivedita ma'am and Abhimanyu sir are going to be teaching you legal affairs and current events. Look no further, enroll yourself at the earliest if these 2 subjects are your target. If you are targeting CLAT 2023, last but not the least, we have batch 7 that we've launched for you. I'll be teaching you here in this batch. So jaldi se enroll kar lo because you've got barely what 10-11 months left. Okay, so that Ranganathan. But then see, did you realize I stopped talking in English? Not altogether, but my maximum communication these days happens in English. Only because I've got people who don't understand Hindi. Okay, that's very good, Lakshmi. That's very good. Okay. So let's move ahead. Ma'am, is it okay if I watch your recorded classes because I have to go to my brother's school to take his passing certificate? Of course it is. Of course, Ritik. Go ahead. Take the passing certificate. Watch the recorded session. Okay? Acha. मैंने कल announce किया था कुछ batches में where I teach that I'm going to take an aeon article. But मैंने link नहीं भेजा क्योंकि आपको पता है again मैंने आज बहुत गट्सी चीज करी है. सुबह half an hour पहले I changed my article. I decided to take some other article क्योंकि जो आर्टिकल मैंने चूज किया था ना, इट wasn't very likely to be asked in your examination. तो मैंने ऐसा आर्टिकल चूज किया है which can actually come up as a reading comprehension. And that's why no link was shared with you. Nobody knows what article I'm going to take today. The link that I shared in my Telegram group, no, I'm not going to take that article today. Okay? Raison d'etre, reason for existence. That's reason d'etre, okay? All right, let's start with our revision. No. Who's going to bring the quote of the day? What is our quote of the day? Anyone? Supreme Court has taken good steps for marital rape. I'm not going to express my opinions, guys, please, no. But then if there's a good article that comes up, I'll be discussing that. Okay? All right. So, what is our quote of the day? Who's bought this? Acha. Arnab, kiska answer hai E? Okay, so there's no secret to success. It is the result of preparation, hard work. Yes, absolutely. There's absolutely no secret. Okay, because if there's a secret, then it's probably not going to lead you to success. It's something that you manipulatively got. It's simple. You need to be consistent. You need to put your hard work every single day. You need to be doing things, learn from your mistakes. That's what the recipe for success is. Yes. So that is about our quote of the day. Okay. All right. So let's move ahead. That's very good, Gauri. Here we go with our revision. Necessary for someone as a duty or responsibility. Is it incumbent, incendiary, genocide, tribunal? What is our word here, everyone? Yes. What's your answer here, everybody? That's the video team doing the job, Lakshmi. I did not do this. Making us beautiful. Incumbent. Yes, it is A. Very good. Very good. That's A for sure. Yes. Yes, Shivam. Ma'am, in Hindu newspaper, there is a news that the question of OBC reservation in local bodies. Can you explain it, ma'am? Ragini, I can, but I don't think that's really important from the perspective of your examination, neither in GK nor in reading comprehensions, okay? Yes, the answer is incumbent. Next one. Sign or give formal consent to or making it officially valid. Ratify, condemn, competent or rectify. What is it? Okay, so Shrishti, I think your law teachers are going to be in a better position to answer your question. Okay, in the app. Ratify. Yes, it isn't rectify, but that's ratify. All right, so that is it. Apart from that, the last word for revision, the invention of a new word or a phrase. Ideologue, mode, obsolete, coinage. What is it? Bataiye. Yes, that was ratify. This one is very easy. That's coinage. That is coinage. Yes. Coinage, yes. It isn't moot, it's coinage. Moot is sort of dispute. To coin a new word, coinage, all right? Now, guys, see, since I have already told you that I decided the article to be taken half an hour before the class started, and then there was a technical glitch. I couldn't take out a lot of vocabulary from the article, but while I explain that article to you, we will read it as a story, and wherever there are words in between the passage, I'll explain them simultaneously. It's implication. Although it's a story, it's more of the history, and there aren't a lot of vocabulary words here. So you shouldn't be bothered about that. But nonetheless, if there's a word you don't know the meaning of, I could explain that in between the class as well. So the first word is proliferation from today's. This is the only slide that we're going to do from the perspective of vocabulary today. Okay. So, all right. Okay. So proliferation, anything whose output is very good, or maybe increment in the number of output, that's proliferation. The continuing threat of nuclear proliferation, probably the number of nuclear weapons is increasing, that increment is proliferation. Okay, increment in the output is proliferation. Next word, superfluous. So I have a glass, I start filling water in it, it is filled to the brim. And then if I keep filling water, what happens? It's going to overflow. That excess water, unnecessary water, is superfluous. Fluous comes from flow. Okay. So superfluous, unnecessary, extra. Okay. So something that flows out is superfluous. Uptick can be proliferation. It can be surge, exponential. Yes, it's all. Extravagant can be proliferation. Yes, it can be. Rampant can be. Expand, all of these are proliferation. Surplus is a synonym to superfluous. Absolutely correct. Surplus is a synonym to proliferation. All right, let's move to the next word. Idolatry. So technically the word came from idol worship. So when you have an idol and you worship to it is idolatry. When you think of somebody as your own idol, you look up to them, that also is idolatry. So too much of admiration, love, or maybe respect, looking up to somebody, that intention is idolatry. We must not allow our idolatry of art to obscure issues of political significance, because we like art, we look up to art, we respect it, we admire it, we love it. That is what idolatry means. Okay? Ma'am, it's taking 1 hour for us to discuss just 2 editorials, whereas in some places, okay, yes, I would like to answer this question. Whereas in some places, they're discussing the whole newspaper in the same time. All right. Okay. I have a simple answer to that. It takes us 1 hour to discuss only and only 2 articles, whereas everyone else discusses the entire paper. When I do that, I wouldn't be able to discuss so many things with you, which everyone else does not do. I think it needs a justification. I wouldn't be able to give you synonyms, antonyms. I'm going to move faster than everybody else is going to. If you're okay to cope up with that, I can cover up the entire newspaper. 3, the entire newspaper, trust me, isn't important. How I teach you anticipation, how I teach you reading between the lines, how I teach you the main idea, the tone, the summary, all of this would not be possible. So my job only and only would be explaining the meaning of the article. If you're good to go with that, probably overlooking the fact that we do summaries, we do tone of the author, we do anticipation, we do the reading between the lines, the inference based questions. Sometimes I pick up a line and ask you, what does it mean? I'll not be able to do all that. So if you're okay with that, I can cover up the entire newspaper. I'll possibly come up with a poll today and then ask you if you would want me to rush up with the whole newspaper and make you read the entire newspaper, or if you would want to do it the way that I've been doing it. Here we go. So the next one, continual and continuous, 2 related words, but there's a difference. Okay, so continuous is, okay, it happens but on and off with a little bit of break. Okay, so thank you everyone. I think I don't need a poll. I have my answer. Okay, so continual doesn't have breaks. For example, it rained for 2 hours. Continually or continuously? Continually would mean without any break. Continuous would mean intermittent. Okay, So that is the difference between continuous and continual. Got this, everyone? Continuous, intermittently on and off. Continual, constant without a break. For 1 hour, we'll have a continual class. But every day, we've got continuous classes. Continual without a break. Alright, perpetual, yes, related word. Relentlessly, very good. Yes, Arnab, it can be. Okay. Alright, let's move ahead. The last one, intricate, very detailed. When we say intricate carving, so maybe in Hampi or maybe any other temple, it's very detailed, very minute, looking at the little integrities. So that is intricate network of canals, very detailed, very thoughtfully done. That's intricate, okay? So the only slide we have today is this one. The remaining we're going to do with the passage that we do. Everyone who's joined me late, we aren't going to discuss the Hindu and the Indian Express today because the entire paper was full of political news. Thus, I have bought a surprise for you. I am going to talk about chocolates today. It's an article from the aeon.co. You guys know Aeon has been a very popular site for making reading comprehensions. It's a very popular site among students. I promote it a lot. If you want to know about topics, if you want to read longer passages, that is the website where passages are picked up from. So that's it here. Okay. All right. So let's move ahead. Now, I'm sure all of you like chocolates. Yes, you do. But what you get in the markets, Dairy Milk or 5-star or XYZ, all of these chocolates, do you think they're chocolates? Let me ask you this simple question. Do you think they're chocolates? Yes, yes, Karma, you can say that. Do you think that's chocolate? No. No, my children, it isn't. Kit Kat and all, these aren't chocolates. What are these then? No, my children, you're mistaken. Okay. What is chocolate? Chocolate is something that comes from the bean, the cocoa bean. Okay. And then when it is processed, there are multiple things that come out of it. There's butter that comes out of it. There's husk that comes out of it. And there's pure cocoa that comes out of it. They are sold under the title of chocolate, but they do not have any ounce of chocolate in it. You would read, most of them would have cocoa solids or only the residue of the whole processing of a cocoa bean that's done. Maximum part of it would be vegetable fat. What is vegetable fat? Nakli ghee, nakli oil, nakli butter. So it has not even a single ounce of a real ingredient. So when you read a study that says eat chocolate because it's healthy for you, you have to eat pure cocoa. You have to eat pure couverture is the word. Let me write that down for you. Couverture and not compound. Couverture. Anything that includes couverture is pure chocolate. Anything that includes compound, cocoa solids, milk solids are all fake ingredients. Now, why did that happen? That's the story about. Why did all this happen? I'm sure this is something new for all of you. It's all artificial and it's supremely unhealthy for you. But why did this happen? Cocoa ka itna abundance tha. Cocoa bean ka itna abundance tha. So what happened with the whole chocolate root? How did the production start? Where did it spread? And where are we today? How did we reach here? This article is about that. Okay. Sakhi, raw couverture, you can't eat that. But then there are the sweetener ones as well. Okay. So good that you can't have it now. Okay. Now let's study the story. Okay. At the end of the 17th century, Madrid started to be populated. Okay. Especially around these areas. Yes. By kiosks. So it was populated by kiosk, choti thadi, chote thele, what we call in our Indian language, by kiosks, stores, street vendors selling chocolate. Everybody was selling chocolate. Individual licenses were granted every year, but several street vendors profited from curiosity towards the exotic drink. So everybody was curious that what is this new drink? We would want to have that. Like the proliferating soda shops in our country. Like 5 years back, every other corner had a soda shop. Everybody was inquisitive. What is this soda shop about? It was exactly the same. What is this new drink? So there were licenses to the shops selling this drink. But then these kiosks, the street vendors, they did not need a license. And then they were selling a dark beverage made of less cocoa, but more of almond, good, pine nut, good, flour, not good, acorns, not good, coffee, okay, bread ka drink, not good, pieces of orange rind, okay, and even soil. Why would they do that? To make money, earn quick money. So that's what was being sold everywhere. Alright, so Madrid is a place, bache, like vending machines. Yes, exactly. So, alright, that was about the history. Trying to put up, now I want all of you to quickly go through this, quickly read this page. Everyone, I'm going to give you 1 minute. Read this and send me a done when you're done. What do you think comes in the food that we eat on streets? Yeah, exactly. That's Madrid. Done? So, trying to put a stop on the proliferation of competitors, everybody wanted to make this drink. In 1723, people decided to make a union, okay? A group of professional chocolate makers rather, with the request to form a guild, claiming it was time to protect public health from the threats of adulteration. India में adulteration की कोई कमी नहीं है. We are full of it. But then they were actually worried. They thought, why is this adulteration happening? Let's form a union. Let's protect and let's license people. The request was denied as superfluous. He said, what is the use of this request? We are not going to form a guild. Nobody is going to come together to protect people. There's no adulteration that's happening. And 25 years later, in 1748, they tried again and found a more favorable response from the city authorities. Finally, they were actually keen on curbing the adulteration, but not from their colleagues. Many workers opposed to forming a guild because they were poor, and adulterating chocolate remained the simplest way for them to profit from its sale. So the guild was made, but not to curb adulteration, not to minimize the profit they got from adulteration, but because adulteration was the only way of earning quick money for the poor. Yes? Now what happened? Greatly valued in Amerindian societies. What are Amerindian societies? Anyone? What are these? Not from their colleagues. Ali, here not from their colleagues. It means that other people who wanted to form a guild, the richer ones, the professional chocolate makers, those are the colleagues. And these poor people who run kiosks and stalls, who involve into adulteration, they did not want it. American Indian, yes, simple. Yes, only one article today. American Indian, basically indigenous Americans. Okay? Indigenous Americans are American Indians. Okay? So thus, greatly valued in these indigenous societies, chocolate had spread among Spanish settlers in New Spain by the 16th century. It started spreading. from Spain to multiple areas. Now guys, see, this article is gradually moving towards trade. When we talk about trade in the 16th, 17th, 18th century, am I going to be kept away from the colonies? Can that be possible? You know what colonies are, right? Not the colony that you live in, but the historical term colonies. Can we be left away from colonization? You knew Britishers were eager and they were the pioneer of trade at that time. We could not be left away from them. Right? Agreed, everybody? Absolutely. So, we have to talk about Britishers here. So, the great and immediate success of chocolate fascinates today's scholars and novelists as much as it frightened contemporaries. So, today when we study about chocolate, or maybe people when they studied about chocolate in the history, they were fascinated, but they were frightened too. Why were they scared of this? Because they worried that addiction and greed, people being addicted to the drink, and the greed the makers have by adding unnecessary things to it. For example, soil, right, would corrupt the bodies and souls of Spanish settlers. Corrupt the bodies, because if I am drinking an unadulterated drink, my body will be corrupted. And whose souls are being corrupted here? Whose souls are being corrupted? Anybody? Whose souls are being corrupted? Anyone? Anyone? What is it? Whose souls are being corrupted here? The sellers. Yes, it's the seller. Exactly. So, indeed, as shown by the historian Rebecca, the power of dye to create or dilute bodily differences. Create or dilute means it might age your health, it might deteriorate your health as well. Destabilized borders between colonizers and colonized peoples. At the same time as it fueled the fear of any indigenous religious practice persisting. So here comes the colonies and the colonizers, and they took the advantage of that. What happened next? Indeed, trade regulations and the fear of what the French historian called colonial idolatry, looking up to colonies, had to deal with the exploitation of commercial opportunities offered by the colonies, natural resources within both colonial and European markets. So exploitation started here. The moment we talk about colonies, exploitation comes synonymously to it. Okay? Any questions? Yes, exactly. The Spanish settlers, correct. So, this fueled a series of controversies and disputes about the proper and correct way to consume chocolate. Now, see, Britishers, French, not rather French, all the Europeans, they have a specific idolation for their own culture. So, they believe this is how you should be consuming chocolate. Everybody had their own version. And then started debate of how you should be consuming chocolate, how it should be consumed the perfect way, which in turn fueled further interest in the product. Now, when there was a debate of how you should be consuming it, everybody started becoming interested. Oh, what is this new product? I would like to try this too. Although only 289 bushels, basically unit of measurement, officially left the port of La Guardia near Caracas, and its commercial circulation remained limited in Europe, chocolate crossed the Atlantic. Ab dekho, it started with only 289 bushels. That's a unit of measurement. I'll repeat. Only this amount crossed the port, but it gradually started spreading. It crossed the Atlantic. It traveled to already processed and transformed into a paste with basic ingredients. Now, see, when I'm transporting it, I can't transport it in its raw form because otherwise it's going to be ruined. So the processing started. It transformed into a paste with basic ingredients added to avoid rapid deterioration of the raw product. So when it crossed the Atlantic, the processing of raw cocoa started. That's how the journey began. It passed through aristocratic and clerical networks. So because not every country would accept it, it passed through aristocratic circle, the clerical circle. There were laws, there were rules, there were regulations, becoming a reputation product. Now, when aristocratic and clerical people would try it out, it became a product of reputation. All the kings, all the queens, all the royal family members would indulge into it. The correspondence of the nobility offers countless testimonies of chocolate given as gifts packed in little foil of gold. So it became a sign of luxury. Yes? What happened? Anadi, see, so basically that refers to a flower with only one stamen, okay? Arnab, that's only a hoax. That's not true. No, it's only a hoax. Don't buy. He's just kidding. Don't buy his words. It's only a hoax, okay? Got this? So ultimately, it became a thing of luxury with people. What happened next? हम यहाँ तक कैसे पहुंचे? Adulteration तक. कैसे आया ये? Claims of Spanish excellence in the art of chocolate production went hand in hand with increasing identification of the product with Spanish culture. So, but then when I name chocolate, which country, which area comes to your mind first? Because right now we're still talking about Spain, right? Madrid. That's where it became popular, and the colonies. What is one area, one country that comes to your mind when I talk about chocolate? Where do you find the finest chocolate in the world? This article is from the Aeon. Belgium, Sweden, Africa. Yes, my children, the finest cocoa is produced in Africa, Ghana. And then you've got finest of milk chocolates in the Swiss Alps. Switzerland is the finest milk chocolate. Not Belgium. No, it's Africa. Okay. So, because Belgian chocolate is a very common term that you see in ice creams and cookies, that's why you know it through Belgium. Chocolate took on such importance in the 18th century in Spain that even the entry on chocolate in encyclopedia. So the word finally entered encyclopedia opens with an acknowledgement of its diffusion in Spain. So Spain actually synonymous ban gaya with the word chocolate. Encyclopedia actually states Spain, and this diffusion started from Spain, stating that lacking chocolate in Spanish homes is like lacking bread in France. You know, baguette is the bouquet, rather, what you call it, is a long loaf that French people make. And it's a culture. Every morning they go out, they buy bouquets, not bouquet, the flower, the bouquet bag, the bread. And there are competitions held. So like French homes are synonymous to bread, Spanish homes were synonymous to having chocolates. The political economy of consumption intertwined with the competition among empires, as a similar process of cultural appropriation took place in tea and coffee in France. So जैसे tea और coffee, trade, लेन-देन में, buying and selling things, competition between empires, similar competition was seen with chocolate. Imperial powers began promoting the consumption of certain products, especially psychoactive substances based on material conditions and the possibility of controlling production and trade. Of course, when somebody wants to control trade, you start indulging into illegal activities, something that can control your mind. In the case of chocolate, the control of imports and pricing policies, as well as reforms concerning modes of sociability and consumption, intertwined with both reshaped taste and broadened demand. तो जैसे जैसे ये intertwining of trade increase होता गया, taste भी लोगों का change हुआ, they started liking chocolate, तो automatically demand increase होता गया chocolate का. Agreed? चॉकलेट खाने का मन कर रहा है, वॉफल्स खाने की याद आ रही है, पढ़ लो आर्टिकल सब लोग. कोको was ideal for trading. Very easy. But when it was ideal for trading, it was ideal for smuggling as well. जिस चीज की trading होती है उस चीज की smuggling भी होती है. Indirect trading. And you know what led to the trading? When I talk about plantation, so for example, tea plantation or rubber plantation or cocoa plantation, what is one negative word that comes to your mind? Not smuggling. What is that one negative word that comes to your mind? When I talk about plantation, be it tea, rubber, or cocoa. What is that one thing that is in your mind? A negative word. Anyone? Slavery. Yes, my child, slavery. That is slavery. And when it was bonded labor, yes, not fertilizers, my child. No, it was bonded labor. It was slavery. The labor that were forced to work on that plantation. And when they were forced, how would they make money? By smuggling. That's how cocoa faced smuggling as well. As its harvest was continual and its plantation mainly stretched along the coast, कोस्टल एरियाज में था तो ऑब्वियसली शिप्स के थ्रू आप इजीली स्मगल कर सकते हो चीजें. द प्रेवलेंस ऑफ स्लेवरी बेस्ड प्लांटेशन ओन्ड द granate cacao also favored the illegal selling of cocoa by plantation and household enslaved people. Those people who were enslaved, they started smuggling the whole cocoa. Practically every social stratum was therefore involved in the illegal trade. Everyone was involved. As the carcass economy, so it's basically a specific type of cocoa economy, was mainly based on the high demand of this Mexico for its valuable fruit. With the complicity of the authorities, merchandise was introduced and colonial products were made available on the market without taxes being paid. Obviously, because ये smuggled product था. So colonial products market में available थे, कोई tax नहीं है, freely available है because this was smuggled, thus making a substantial amount of the production disappear. Why did it disappear? Because it was being smuggled, available in the market without any taxes to be paid. Yes? Alright, now here let me point out a line that's important. Yes, this one. Liberalization did not fuel this rise but helped to fulfill the strong demand for cocoa, creating in the preceding decades by growing differentiation in the chocolate supply. Demand increased. Supply पहले कम था, but supply supremely increase हो गया because of the smuggling. So it was not liberalization that fueled it. It was the smuggling that fueled it. By the beginning of the 20th century, the Portuguese island, together with the Gold Coast, became one of the largest production areas. Today, Ghana. Indeed, Forest Row still makes up more than 80% of the world cocoa production today. It is mainly grown in Africa. That's what we are today, with more than half of the 4 million tons of cocoa produced globally coming from the Saharan Africa, that is Ivory Coast and Ghana. While these cocoa accounts for no more than 3% of the global production. So the highest comes from Gold Coast in today's Ghana and the Saharan Africa. This paragraph is very important that it concludes it. The intricate plot of trade politics, how there was trading, how it started with Spain being synonymous to the household, how it increased, how were the Britishers involved here, competing social and cultural forms of appropriation and profitability. Yes, because ultimately the purpose of a trade was profitability. Plus, chocolate's resilience led to a series of boomerang effects. What are the boomerang effects here? Read the whole paragraph and tell me. What are the boomerang effects? Everything is legal, but yet it can be smuggled to avoid taxes, to make quick money. Everything legal can also be smuggled. Alcohol, for example, is it legal in our country? Is it smuggled? Do you see Bihar police telling you that rats drank that alcohol? Read that news? Thousands of liters of alcohol went missing and they claimed rats drank it. So what is the boomerang effect here? Reflected effect, okay. Others? Repeating again and again, yes, Ragini. Consumption, profit, addiction, all of it. It was coming back again and again. Absolutely, yes, Anushka. Yes, correct. Import, export increasing, okay. All right. Oh, so boomerang effect is it, the bad things coming back to you. That by the 19th century has made chocolate a global commodity, showing the interconnection of mutual influences between different areas and competing empires. Different areas, but they're competing because of the dominance on trade of cocoa. What's the tone? Be very careful about the tone. Be very careful about it. Okay? Reflect effect, exactly. What's the tone of the author, everyone? Tone of the author. Informative. Okay. Informative. That is narrative, my children. That is narrative. Completely a storytelling. It is narrative. Got my point, everyone? It is narrative. Dobara ghum ke aana, Shivam. Yes. It is narrative. All right. Okay. So, few more things. Today, 12:30, I don't have a class with you on the BPA channel. But Monday, I'm starting with a series on reading comprehensions where I'll be addressing the main idea questions, the argument questions, how to identify the main idea. By the time, I am going to share today's newspaper and let's see what's important. Till the time these unnecessary politics-based articles come up, I wouldn't be taking them. There's no use of discussing them. I would rather bring a reading comprehension in the class and we would discuss that. I would prefer that. Okay. Apart from that, Purva, yes, my child, it was too late in the night. I'm going to do it today. Okay. Harshita, the article was long. No, my child, the article was not long. I made it short. I've removed multiple paragraphs from the article, so it wasn't very long. I'm going to share today's Hindu and Indian Express in the background, okay? And I'll tell you what are the important articles that you need to be reading today and what is that you can leave. Tomorrow is Saturday. I wouldn't have the Hindu class with you tomorrow. Saturdays and Sundays, there are no classes, okay? On the BBA channel, 12:30 Monday on the BBA channel, okay? Okay, all right. Here, let's look at the articles. Let's see what's important. Hopefully nothing. Yes. Please read this. Please read this. You need to know what is happening in Yemen, okay? Ah, yes. Please read this. We've got good articles today in the Hindu. For sure. For sure. You're going to love reading this. बहुत टाइम से रॉ पे कोई आर्टिकल नहीं आया था. Finally it's here. Rameshwar Nath Kao. Yes, read this. Next page. Are there any questions that you would want me to answer, ma'am? Please share the website. Which website? aeon.co, जहां से मैंने आर्टिकल लिया. aeon.co. Okay. All right. RC की क्लास 12:30 होगी बच्चे. All right. Any more questions? No. Okay. BBA channel link. I'll tell you everything on Monday. Okay. Monday in my Hindu class, I'll announce everything where the class is going to happen. Should the government loosen its purse strings? Skim. A watchdog silenced. Skim. Let's look at text and context. So who was asking me if the OBC reservation in local bodies is important or not? Only skim. Oh, so finally the capital of Indonesia changes. Important GK question. Remember the name and why is it changing? Read this. The last page for text and context. No, no, Janvi, that's going to be removed. I think, Ali, I should be taking that. Yes, I think I should be taking that. I will take it on Monday, okay? Yes, Muskan, I have it. Just type my name along with inference. You'll find that class. Okay? No, 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 no. You don't need to read that. Let's come to the Indian Express. Why Kohli will survive even without his crown? Skim. Why India needs to pay attention to Russian military buildup in Ukraine? Skim. Is Omicron the beginning of COVID's end game? Oh, such a good article. Read it thoroughly. The Republic Day is a reminder of the spirit of federalism and why our federalism is under strain. Read this. The formal economy and not just the informal sector. Yes, read this. Learning crisis in school demands urgent intervention. Read this. Government's attempt to project its bid to take over Kashmir Press Club. No. A Colombian novelist and an untold story of a real and magical. Yes, read this. That is all from today. All right. Are there any questions that you would want me to answer? My board exam is from 1st Feb and I'm very stressed how to cope up with CLAT preparation. Please reply. Ashita, 15 days, focus on your boards. Don't leave the newspaper. Read the newspaper regularly. Don't leave out on GK and reading habit. But other subjects can be not practiced regularly. You could take random sectional tests in between your boards. But once your boards are done, bounce back with full energy because you'll have 3 months to revise everything. Rather 2 months, okay? All right. So that is all. No, Shubham, it's going to be on our BBA channel. I'll make that announcement on Monday. Okay? Any more questions? Have a very good day, everybody. I'll see you on Monday. Thank you so much, everyone. But I might come back with an Ask Me Anything session tomorrow. Just check out for it if it's available. Have a very good day, everyone. God bless all of you.